So in today's video, I'm actually going to do a part 2 of my first video on how to deliver services for your social media marketing agency clients, just because you guys seem to like that one and a lot of people have been asking me to make a follow-up, kind of showing you a more advanced approach or tutorial on actually being able to deliver good services to your SMMA clients. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to open up a Google Doc. I was thinking on whether I should go through an ads manager and show you how to set up the ads, but I feel like a lot of you guys already know how to do that, or you can search up other YouTube videos that show you how to set up ads within the ads manager. So I feel like that would be a bit basic. I don't want to be basic. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to have a simple Google Doc that I'm going to share. And then I'm going to run you through the entire process of how I would go about basically setting up a client for success with me. Now, this is going to be focused on Facebook ads and getting appointments. If you are working with local service-based businesses, then this will be pretty useful for you. So without further ado, make sure you watch all the way throughout to the end of the video if you actually want to retain your clients for a long period of time and get them amazing results and get them to love you. If you don't watch to the end of the video, then not all of it will make sense to you, as you know, I'm going to go over step by step of how I would go about setting up a new client's account. So super important that you watch through all of this, make some detailed notes, and then actually go take the action and implement the teachings or the learnings I'm about to give you into your client's accounts. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so there's going to be 9 parts to this video. First, the offer, then we're going to go ahead and see how we can do some competitor research. Then we're going to write out the ad copy, then do some ad creatives, then look through the ad account structure that I use, how to set everything up, how to test, the KPIs you should aim for, and how to iterate on your test to get better results. So let's start off with the offer. Now, you simply can't say free quote, right? I'm working with home improvement businesses mainly, so free quote, everyone uses free quote as their offer, and that's not an offer, right? So what we want to do is think from the person's perspective, from their client's perspectives, like what would they want, right, to be offered, or what promotion would they want in order for them to go ahead with us, right? Because I can assure you that a lot of people are doing bathroom remodels or kitchen remodels, so there's a lot of competitors in the space. And what will be the difference between someone submitting their information and booking an appointment with your client to someone else, to their competitor, is literally the offer and how you present yourself. So what I could do is get a 30% off your current quote, right? So that could be my offer. So I can tell them listen, get 30% off your current quote, right? So whatever quote you have, we will deduct 30% of it. So that kind of positions us as being competitive, and plus get a free premium shower head installation. And so we can offer a freebie. We can also say get a free consultation, and this works pretty well, worth $250. A free consultation worth $150. Cool. So next, what we want to do is we want to go on the ads library and look at what our competitors are doing, right? So I'll search a bathroom remodel in the United States, all ads, and I'll just get an understanding of the landscape, of the competitive landscape of within Facebook ads. So we have people saying, okay, add value to your home, and you want to take notes through this. Add value to your home. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, right? As little as 1 day, right? So that's a good angle to go from. Okay. In one day. That seems to be like a keyword, a good keyword that a lot of these companies are using. So yeah, in one day essentially means like get your quote in one day. I think that's what they mean. It's not like remodel your bathroom in one single day. It means get your quote in one day. And so mainly I would look at the ads library in order to research my competitors. I would go on their page, see what other ads they're running, see when they started running the ads, because if I see an ad that was running for quite a while, let's say here started running on 6th of March, so this was pretty recent, but let's say they had an ad running since 22nd of February, right? That means that type of ad is kind of working out for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be running it for as long as they are running it. As we can see, we have February 6th here as well. So they've been running this ad for like a whole month now. So once I kind of get this into my head and understand the competitive landscape, I then want to write out my ad copy. Now, an ad copy follows these structures: call out audience, then we want to mention their pain point, dream outcome, then we want to present our offer, then we want to have urgency, right, on claiming that offer. Then we want to have our benefits or unique selling points. Then you can add a review or testimonial, and then a call to action. Right, so this framework is kind of like the best framework that you can use when running your ads. So calling out audience, homeowners in Washington. Are you tired? Are you tired of going through your morning routine in an outdated bathroom? Let's remodel your into a dream basis so you start. All right, so that's the ad copy, right? So here we're calling them out. We're calling out their pain point, right? Everyone has a morning routine, and sometimes it might not be nice to have your morning routine in an outdated bathroom. So here I'm saying, are you tired of going through your morning routine in an outdated bathroom? Let's remodel your bathroom into a dream oasis so you start looking forward to your mornings. For the next 5 homeowners, get 30% off your current bathroom quote, plus get a free premium shower head installed. Then the urgency, we are offering this to the next 5 homeowners only. And once we have remodeled all the bathrooms, this promotion will be discontinued forever. So get a free consultation in 1 day worth $250, increase the value of your home, quick and hassle-free remodel, and high-quality materials only. Then I would put a sort of review, and then I have my call to action. Again, stressing the fact that they can get a free consultation, usually worth $250. Then what I do for my headlines, so headlines are kind of these things here, is I say, get a free quote. And I would have the arrow pointing to the learn more button. And then as my description under the headline, I would have limited time only. So this is my copy, right? I would add emojis here. So I would add emojis to make it more engaging and more fun. But this is kind of the, I guess, the skeleton of the copy. So now moving on to the creatives. Now, what type of creatives work the best? Well, I'm here to tell you is the ones that don't really look like an ad, right? Because when people scroll on Instagram or when people scroll on Facebook, they don't want to be advertised to. They don't want ads being shoved at them, right? They get repelled by ads, essentially. So the key here is to be able to create an ad that doesn't look like an ad and that fits within their sort of like feed. So when they're scrolling and they see our image, it doesn't look like an ad, but it is an ad, right? Because we want to stop the scroll and get them to read our copy. The copy is the first thing we want them to read after they saw our creative. So type of creatives that work in, especially in the home improvement industry, you can do it for other industries as well. Just make the ad creative look as raw as possible. I even get my clients to basically record the ad copy, right? So I'd create this into a script and I'd get them to pick up the phone and just record themselves basically reading the copy. And then I would just add captions to it and that's it. No crazy edits, nothing like that. Just make it as raw as possible and kind of fit it into a feed as if someone is posting a video about something and talking about something, right? And it's not necessarily an ad. But you can also have like project images, right? Before and afters, simple before and afters, no logos, no nothing. These are taken from Canva. Obviously, you would use your client's images. And then, yeah, other type of creatives is like your client speaking to the camera, and basically the script is going to be the ad copy that we've written down. Customer video testimonial or an AI B-roll. These are working out great these days for some reason. And what that is basically you would take the ad copy and then you would go and turn it into a voiceover, and then you would edit B-rolls onto that voiceover and add captions to it. Right, so these are the other type of creatives that you can use. So our goal here is to essentially build social proof and trust. It's important to be able to build these sort of two things, especially when running ads on Facebook, because people need to be comfortable with you and people need to essentially trust you. And you have to showcase somewhat social proof. That's why we had a customer review here. And if you get your client to actually film themselves speaking, or you get a customer video testimonials, these are going to work way better than just project images. But if you can't do that, obviously not a lot of people can do that, then just use project images. That's fine, because that also showcases some level of social proof that you are in fact a bathroom remodeler and you've done this before. So these are the type of creatives I would do. And the first thing I would do is I would come up with 3 to 4 different ad creatives. And these would be my first sort of test, right? So the way you'd want to go about this is first test your creatives and then test your ad copy and then, test anything else that needs to be tested. But usually it works out well if you test out your creatives and then your ad copy. So if you find a winning creative, then you would go and take that winning creative and then you would go on to test 4 different ad copies to see if you can go towards your KPI or like even sort of get better results And then once you test your ad creative, you found a winning creative, you found a winning ad copy, you would then use that to basically scale further. I'm going to go over this in just a moment with the ad account structure. So, ad account structure, how do you approach this? So, here we have our main campaign, right? Now, use a naming convention such as say media, campaign 1, broad. And then within that campaign, I would have one ad set, and it will be my testing ad set, right? And usually the type of like audiences I would use is upload clients' zip codes and then go broad, right? Target people from 30 plus, right? So you got to think like with ages, you got to think like, okay, who are the people that would be interested in my services? For bathroom remodeling, obviously someone who's 18, 20, 25, who doesn't have a home yet probably wouldn't be interested. Someone who's 30 might be, right? So we want to do 30 plus, male and female, English, right? So this is what I would do. I would try to keep my audience size as big as possible. That's the key. Because I know with local service-based businesses, sometimes it's hard to have like a large audience size. And the smaller your audience size is, the more expensive your leads are gonna be. So it's important to basically have as much of an audience size as possible. And if you start adding interests or if you start adding anything else, that's just going to reduce your audience, right? So audience size, my main focus would be keeping it as large as possible whilst still advertising within my clients' areas. So one ad set, one testing ad set. And then here I would have ad one, copy one, creative one. Then here I'd have ad two, copy one, creative two. And then just above that, ad three, copy one, creative three. So test anywhere from 3 to 4 creatives at the start. Right. So this is my first like beginning structure. It's really simple. It's just one campaign, one ad set, broad audience, and then one copy, right? The copy that we wrote here, and then 3 different type of creators. Because the first thing we want to do is test the creators, because the creative is the thing that's going to capture potential clients' attention, and then they would go on to read the ad copy, and then once they read the ad copy, they would then click on learn more and submit their information. So the first thing of the funnel, we need to test the creatives. So essentially that's a structure, right? If I was to find a creative that's winning, I'd create a different ad set, same ad set, wouldn't change anything about the audience. And then I would go ahead, let's say ad creative 3 was the winner. I would then go on and duplicate that ad within sort of my winning ad set. Essentially, I would have one testing ad set and one winning ad set, right? So one winning ad set is where I would just put all of my winners into just to keep it organized. And then the testing ad set is where I would test a bunch of things, the ad copy, the creatives, and other things, just to keep everything organized. You can do, like, let's say if ad creative 3 was winning within your testing ad set, if you don't want to risk duplicating the ad set and putting the creative or the ad there, you can still just keep on running this sort of ad within the testing ad set, and then just turning off the ad set or the ads that didn't sort of work or perform as well. All right, so the way I would do it, like if you don't want to do this structure, the way I would do it is basically kill these two and then keep this one running, right? and then I'll build my next sort of test. So add creative 4, or if I want to test copies, I'll keep the creative the same, just change the copy and so forth. But I just find it easier to create the winning ad set and then just duplicate the winning ads into that winning ad set and just keep everything organized and just have my ad set here as a testing ad set. All right, so that's the structure that essentially I would follow. Now, how to set this up is essentially create a new campaign, go on leads, click on continue, manual leads campaign, click on continue. So here I'd give it a naming convention, some campaign broad. Then I'll go into my, here you want to turn off advanced campaign budget. I'll just simply go on the new lead ad set. Then I'll say testing, ad set, broad. Here you want to select instant forms. Now I tested Messenger, I tested instant forms and Messenger. Usually I just like having one call to action, which is fill up my form. You go ahead and select sort of your page. So you select your client's page, obviously here. Dynamic creative, turn that off, you don't need that. And then here you would basically give a budget to your testing ad. Now at first, I'll give it all my budget just because I'm trying to find out what works and what doesn't when I first start running the ads. But as you go on and create your winning ad set, then you want to basically half it, right? So if my daily budget is $50, I'll start off with $50 a day to test different ad creatives. And then once I find winning ad creatives, I would then duplicate this ad set and I'll basically run my winners at $25 a day, and then I'll dedicate $25 a day to my testing ad set, right? So just 50-50 split. But anyways, I'll start off with $50. Locations, this is where essentially you would first go on to use original audiences, right? And then you want to create new audience, or actually no. Here, yeah, click on edit location, add locations in bulk, postal codes, and then just paste in your client's postal codes. Ask your client to send you a list of postal codes of areas they want to target, and then you essentially just paste it here. Right? Or you can just like literally go on locations and do it yourself, but I just find it way easier to paste in postal codes and just have it overdone with. Age, 30 plus, right? Genders, all genders, no interests, languages, I would change it to English. I want to make sure that they speak English. Advantage Plus placements, I'd usually leave it as it is. Now, if you want to test manual placements, you can, but I just let Facebook do that part. Like the algorithm is smart enough to know where to basically place your ads. So here we have the new leads ad, right? So I'll rename it, add one, copy one, creative one. I make sure to give it naming conventions. These are super important in order for you to basically know what one is, right? Create an ad. So multi-advertiser ads, I would turn it off. You can keep them on, but I usually turn them off. I don't really see too much point in them. Add media. This is where you would add sort of your creatives. So video or image, right? These creatives you would add onto here. And then this is where you would add your copy. So I'll just go ahead. This is why we have a Google Docs, right? So we don't have to write everything out on the Ads Manager. We would simply just copy and paste it here. Make sure it's formatted right? Make sure everything looks good. Right, okay, looks good. Headline. Get a free quote. And the description is limited time only. Call to action, just do learn more. You can try get a quote, but learn more always works best for some reason. And then here's where you would go ahead and create your form. So you'd click create form. You would name your form, lead form 1, more volume. Now you can use the image from your ad, or you can upload an image and basically have like your own custom banner. It doesn't really matter too much. You can do both. I usually go with use the image from your ad. Short deadline, it would be my offer, right? So we want to have our offer, right? And then here we want to include our unique selling points, right? Obviously format it in the right way, like add bullet points, add emojis, space them out properly, but the structure follows as the offer and then your unique selling points. Questions, right? So you can use conditional logic to disqualify people. The best question I'd say is short answers, is to get people to manually type out an answer for you, right? Because if people take the time to manually type out an answer for you, that means they're more qualified or more serious. Whereas if they click the multiple choice question, it doesn't take that long to click it, right? So they can just click, 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 click and get it over done with. I usually like to go with short answers. And my question usually would be is, would either be this, right? I would add one or two of these questions, right? So and I'll add another one, right? Right. So what this question does is essentially make sure that we don't get messed up by the autofill that Facebook has, because sometimes Facebook saves wrong phone numbers or fake phone numbers or old phone numbers that don't work anymore. So we want to make sure that the client is able to basically, or the prospect is able to give us the best contact number for us to reach them with, and they type it out manually. And then what are they looking to get done with their bathroom, right? So we want to make sure that they write out what is it that they actually looking to get done with their bathroom. I want to change my drawers. I want to change my tiles. I want to change my shower. I want to convert my tub to a shower, whatever it is. Short answers. So they would manually on their phone type it out, right? And this will make them way more qualified than someone who just clicks on multiple choice questions or pre-fills their information. Here, email full name, right? So we want to make sure we are getting their phone number again, right? I know we get the phone number here, but just in case we get it again, because if the phone number here matches the phone number they pre-filled, then we know that this is a real phone number and we can actually use that. Then we want to make sure we get the postal code as well. Privacy policy, you would simply can just put your client's website here. I find that Facebook doesn't really care about what your privacy policy is. I know some people build whole privacy policy pages, but it was never a problem for me. I just kind of put my client's websites or about us page on here. Now here, the call to action is super, super important. Now, most people overlook this. You can't overlook this. This is the final stage of when they go ahead and book an appointment. So we would say one last click. Right. We want to make sure that one last important step, click schedule quote below to secure your free consultation. Then we have scarcity, right? We play on the loss averse sort of heuristic or psychology of a person. We're telling them, listen, secure your spot, make sure it's guaranteed, because we're only offering this special promotion to the next 5 homeowners. And if you don't schedule the call, then you're not guaranteed a place in our promotion. Then I would add a link, the booking page, right? Don't add your client's website, just add your funnel, right? Your appointment booking page where they can click on it and schedule the appointment. And then here I would say, so that's how I would do it, and that's how I would build a lead form up. And obviously clean it up. Like this is just an example. Add emojis. Emojis like are very underrated in this. Like trust me, emojis work. So just add emojis wherever you can. Don't overdo it, obviously, but just like make it more fun and add emojis. So yeah, essentially this would be our first ad. And then what I would do is I would simply quickly duplicate it, and I'll duplicate it for how many creatives I'm looking to test, and I'd simply just change the creative and nothing else, right? So I'd have my copy, 1, and then I'd have my 4 different creatives as an ad, and then I'd simply go ahead and publish this. So this is how you go about setting up your ad account. So how do you test, right? How do you test? So let's say you have your KPIs. You have your KPI, cost per lead. You're looking to get a $15 cost per lead, cost per appointment, appointments per month, leads, right? And then you can reverse engineer this by doing this. So let's say your client's ad spend is 1,000 per month. You want to get $15 cost per leads. So that should give us 66 leads per month. Usually, right, leads to appointment industry-wide, leads to appointment ratio is 20%. So out of all your leads, 20% will go ahead and book the appointment. So if we're getting 66 leads, that's 13 appointments per month, and that's makes it $76 cost per appointment, right? If you want to improve this metric and you want to increase the amount of appointments you're getting, you got to improve your cost per lead. The way you would improve your cost per lead is by testing your copies, your offers, and your creatives. So how do you actually go about testing, right? So let's say you start off with, as we did here, with 3 ads. What I would do here is I'd essentially let them spend, or let the ad set spend at least 100 to 100, yeah, to 100 to 150, right? So I'd let the ad set spend $150, right? I would not touch anything. I would let this run and I would wait till it spends 100 to 150 bucks. I would then come back and I would look, right? Let's say this ad is bringing us $25 cost per leads. This ad is bringing us $30 cost per leads. This ad is bringing us $15 cost per leads. I would then kill these two, right? I would kill these two because they're not within my KPI that we set here. Now take this ad and I'll duplicate it into my winning ad set. And if my budget is like, let's say $25 a day, I'll give $25 a day to that ad set, and I'll let this ad run with $25 a day. On my testing ad set, I'll decrease the budget to 25 a day as well, right? So in order for me to run a test, it would take me 4 days, 4 or 5 days to basically complete my test. If I'm waiting for it to spend anywhere from $100 to $150, right? I'll essentially duplicate my winning ad set or winning ad here, let it run at $25 a day for one ad because it's bringing me my cost per leads, which is within my KPI, right? So now I have an ad that's essentially bringing me good leads at a good cost, and it's probably going to yield me appointments. But I just don't stop there, right? I'll constantly want to test, right? So let's say my next KPI, because I want to increase the amount of appointments I have, my next KPI is $12, right? So then I would basically see what I did here with that creative, right? And I would like ask myself, what did I do within that creative that worked? Like, what are the variables, or what's the script, or what did I use within that creatives that made it work? Was it the hook? Was it the editing? Was it the project specific project image? Was it the specific project sort of image format that I used, like a before and after? What was it that I think made it work? And then I would take the attributes, right? I would take the attributes and I'll put them into my next test where I would come up with more creatives, right? So I'd come up with creative 4, creative 5, creative 6. But what's the difference is between our first test and this test is that this time on these creatives, I'm using attributes from the winning creative, right? My winning creative is getting me $15 cost per leads, and I'm using attributes from the winning creative, right? So I have more likelihood, the chance of getting a cheaper cost per lead. So I let it spend. This ad set 100 to 150. I don't touch it. I let it spend. And then I revisit my results, right? I revisit them. And let's say this ad got me $15 cost per leads. This ad got me $10 cost per leads. This ad got me, say, $20 cost per leads. Now I found my new winner. I would duplicate it into my winning ad set, right? So now I have two winning ads that are basically bringing me the leads. And I could stop there. Honestly, I could stop there because $10 cost per lead is pretty good. But if you want to even go further, you can basically keep iterating, right? So now you ask yourself, what did I do here? What are the attributes of this ad? Then I'd go on and build my other ads based on the attributes from this ad, and I would test again, and I'd find a new winner until I hit a plateau, until I'm no longer able to decrease my cost per lead. Then the next thing I would do is test my copy, right? So I'll take my winning creatives, the best winning creative from here. I would use the same creative, but I would test different ad copies and see if that will help me decrease my cost per lead further, right? And if that does, I would then take that and then duplicate it here. And I can just have one winning ad set. And then if I'm happy with this, I would increase the budget back to 50, and I'll just have this one winning ad set running constantly. And my client will be happy because he's getting cheaper cost per leads, he's getting more appointments. And I have my winning ad set with 3 different winners that's giving me $10, $15 cost per leads, $5 cost per leads, right? So this is essentially how you would test. It's basically starting with the hypotheses, right? Testing it, seeing the best performer, reading the metrics, then duplicating the winner into your winning ad set, then taking the attributes from that winner and then creating more variations, testing these variations, finding your best winner again, duplicating into the winning ad set, finding attributes from that new winner, duplicating the attributes or variations into your test again, and so forth until you actually hit a plateau of how low you can go in terms of your cost per leads. And once you do that, then you can go ahead and start testing other different things. Maybe you can increase the amount of appointments you're getting by changing the funnel, right? And so forth. So this is how you would essentially go about testing and how you would have your KPIs and how you would essentially iterate. important to have your KPIs because this is your Polo Star, right? This is what you would basically be working towards. So it's important to have your KPIs and then basically do anything you can in order to reach those KPIs. So yeah, this is a full breakdown of how I would go about running ads for my clients. Now, hopefully this given you some clarity. If you haven't yet watched part one, right? I made a whole video part one that's more useful. It's more like it gives you more theory, I guess, on running ads. So make sure to go watch that. I'm gonna link that in the description below. Apart from that, I do have a free community with a free training. I think it's like 15, 20 modules. So make sure to go and check it out. Right now, you will be put on a waiting list. And once the free training is out, I'm going to let the people in who are on the waiting list into the community, and then I'm going to close the community off in order to make sure that people are getting wins from the free training that I created. So yeah, make sure to join that. Link will be in my channel description, or it will probably be in the description below this video. Apart from that, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and comment down any questions that you have about this. This has been a long one, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a lot of questions. So make sure to comment down below and I'll get back to all of you.